In this video, we're going to talk about questions that ask you to choose strong evidence or strong support for something. You might be asked to support a specific argument from a passage or a claim in a paragraph, or maybe an idea introduced by the question. On test day, you'll see 1 to 2 of these questions. So let's jump in. So this passage is about Michelangelo's famous marble statue of David, the biblical figure, in Florence, Italy. And while I know we're just talking about question 31 here, let's pretend as though we've been reading the passage, mostly just to get this context. Michelangelo had overcome the limitations of the marble block, and moreover, had turned it into a technical and artistic masterpiece. Now, to question 31. Which choice gives a second reason and additional support for the main idea of the paragraph? Okay, so we haven't even read the paragraph yet in question. It's going to be in here, because that's where question 31 is. So we'll read this paragraph, we'll figure out the main idea. There's one reason already present, so we need to come up with a second reason and additional support. So let's take a look at the paragraph. Upon viewing the stunning statue, so we know it really is gorgeous, guild members discarded the idea to hoist the statue to an exterior buttress. They decided not to lift it up to the exterior of a building. It was far too beautiful, and I'm going to skip this underline because it's one of our choices, and I don't want to be influenced by it. It was far too beautiful, that's reason 1, to be placed high above its viewers. After meeting with city officials and prominent citizens, the members agreed that the statue should instead stand outside of Florence's town hall as a symbol and representation of the city's strength and independence. Thus, the guild members achieved their goal of enhancing Florence's prestige. So for me, the main idea from this paragraph is that guild members and city leaders decided not to lift the statue. They instead decided to put it on ground level where people could see it because it was so beautiful. It's so pretty. So we're looking for something that gives good, strong support to that idea. Why not lift the statue? So now let's look at our choices. So choice A is no change, and the option that is currently in the paragraph is it was far too beautiful and was unlike other Renaissance depictions of David. That may be true, but that's not really a good reason not to lift the statue. It was far too beautiful, and B, depicted a favorite biblical story of the citizens of Florence. That doesn't really have much bearing on lifting the statue. I'm going to leave it for now. C, would later come to symbolize Florence's defense of its civil liberties. Again, that doesn't really have any bearing on why you wouldn't want to lift a big marble statue. So I don't feel confident about B or C. And let's look at D. The statue was far too beautiful, and D, at more than 8 tons, far too heavy to be placed high above its viewers. I think this is our answer, because first of all, this is a pretty evident, direct reason not to lift a giant statue. It weighs 8 tons, and it also matches some of the structure. It was far too beautiful and far too heavy. And that repeated structure signals to me rather elegantly that these two choices go together. So you'll see what I did here. Rather than go through the choices one by one, I went to the passage first. I read the paragraph, I tried to pull out that main idea, and then I found the first piece of support. It's too beautiful. And then I looked for a piece of support that would match. It's too beautiful to keep far away, and it's too heavy to lift safely anyhow.